Hybrids, PHEVs, and EREVs. Oh my. In the space between fully gas vehicles and fully electric vehicles, there are a lot of options, and understanding the difference between them can be really confusing. And this becomes particularly important as hybrids are actually the fastest growing portion of the vehicle market. So, what we're going to do in today's video is I'm going to help you understand the difference between each of the many different drivetrains. And I'll also talk about the benefits and drawbacks of each one. So let's jump right into it right now. Hi, this is Rich and welcome to Wings, Wheels, and Wires. So today's video is actually a remake of a video I did about 4 years ago. I had referenced it recently in another video, and as part of referring to it, I went ahead and rewatched it. And I came to the conclusion when I did that it really needed a remake. One, because some of the context of the video has changed in the last 4 years, but then also because this video was only the third video I had ever done. And well, let's just say, thank God I've come away since then. You can check the video out if you either are in need of a good laugh or are feeling masochistic. But if you're not either of those, go ahead and stick with watching this video. Let's start with the basics. An internal combustion engine or ICE vehicle is a vehicle that runs entirely on either gas or diesel. On the other hand, a battery electric vehicle or BEV is a vehicle that uses electricity in a battery to charge an electric motor to move the vehicle. This is what we mean very often, most of the time, by EV. Now, I know that this part is much more basic than most people need it to be, but this is important because we need to have the absolute basics down, or else as the topic gets more complicated, it will be easy to get lost. In between these two platforms are a whole variety of hybrids, from mild hybrid to plug-in hybrid to extended range vehicle. Now we're going to cover each of these, starting with the closest to ICE to the closest to electric vehicle. So we're going to start with the mild hybrid. This is basically a gas car that also has a relatively small battery and a relatively small electric motor. This vehicle primarily uses the electric portion for creeping. Not this kind of creeping, but more like when you are in bumper to bumper traffic, or if you're making adjustments at a stoplight, or just moving a little bit at a time. The minute you go more than just a few miles an hour, however, the engine cuts on and then it becomes pretty much a gas vehicle. And while you're driving as a gas vehicle, it recharges that battery for use again when you stop at a stoplight or hit traffic. The benefits of this is that it helps your gas mileage greatly. The drawback is that when you are driving on the open highway, you actually are going to not use the electric portion hardly at all, and you're actually cutting back a little bit on your fuel efficiency carrying that battery and motor along. This kind of hybrid was, for the longest time, the only hybrid you could get. Over time, though, another form of hybrid evolved, which is the regular hybrid. Now, this is very similar functionally, except for mostly just capacity. It has a larger battery and a larger electric motor. This vehicle does a lot of the same things, except it also can drive for some amount of time as an electric vehicle. It's still relatively short, but it can do it for a few miles. Now, the benefit of this, it gets even better gas mileage when you're using it as city driving. Now, on the flip side, it does get you worse mileage when you're on the highway once again, because you're still just carrying a battery and an electric motor, and this one those weigh even more than a mild hybrid. But overall, it is still more efficient. Now, moving on from the hybrid electric vehicle, which by the way was called an HEV, we move on to the plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, or PHEV. Now, this is very similar in its operation, with the biggest difference being an even bigger battery and also the addition of a plug. This bigger battery allows the vehicle to drive even more miles of range, and then it really, for the most part, acts like an EV. You have the ability to, again, switch it between running more like a mild hybrid or running on purely electric, depending upon what your needs are at that time. The benefit of this vehicle is it gets even better gas mileage because, once again, it has even more electric range. But again, on the city driving, that's the case. But on highway driving at high speed where you don't need that electric portion, it does once again become a weight that slows the vehicle down. But overall, these are much more efficient than even our hybrid electric vehicles. It also saves a lot of money as compared to an HEV because of the plug. Since this has a bigger battery, it would be a lot of gas consumed to charge it while you're driving. So what you actually do is you're able to plug it in overnight in a 115 outlet, and it would be able to charge overnight. Now, this you can do with a PHEV as opposed to an EV because the battery is smaller. And that saves you money because electricity, for the most part, is a lot cheaper than gas. Now, before I move on to the next platform, I want to take a moment to go ahead and complain just a little bit because every hybrid vehicle I've talked about so far, the name is kind of stupid. And here's what I mean by that. The word hybrid means a combination of two things. Now, with cars, we just assume it means a combination of a gas and electric drivetrain, which it is. But you see, these things are named with like hybrid electric vehicle. Well, go one way with the naming or the other. See, this is either just a hybrid, period, or it is a hybrid gas and electric vehicle because there is a gas portion to this. And I think that that's important to differentiate. Hybrid electric vehicle or plug-in hybrid electric vehicle is kind of a little bit of a lie or being dishonest or disingenuous because it is indeed partially electric vehicle, but it's also a gas vehicle, and that part is not covered in the name. Now, this may seem kind of nitpicky, but it becomes very important when we move on to the next platform, which is the extended range electric vehicle, or EREV. Now, the thing that makes this really different is this is the only hybrid we've talked about so far that actually is an electric vehicle. How is it completely electric vehicle? Well, it does indeed have a battery that powers an electric motor, and that electric motor is the only thing that moves the vehicle. There is no gas motor to move the vehicle. So, how is this different from a battery electric vehicle, and how is it a hybrid? Well, it does indeed actually have a gas motor, but this gas motor is nothing more than a generator to charge the battery. Kind of think if you went on a really long road trip to the middle of nowhere with your Tesla and you had a generator in your trunk and you popped it out and charged it while you were there and threw it back in the trunk after you had a full charge. That's kind of what this does, except, it does it while you're driving. The benefits of this platform is they tend to have particularly large batteries, the largest of any of the hybrids. And because of this, they have electric ranges that are comparable to a lot of fully electric EVs. And because of this, you are able to save a lot of money, and they're more efficient by having a full battery and a full charge to be able to drive a couple hundred miles just as an electric vehicle. Now, the drawback to these is that using the generator to charge the battery to power the vehicle is actually less efficient than any of the hybrids. A really good example of how this all breaks down would be my BMW i3. Running fully electric, I'm able to get 115 miles per gallon equivalent when I'm only running electric. But when I have to kick on the range extender or the EREV, my miles per gallon on that are only about 30 miles per gallon. So that's really not good. A lot of just plain gas cars get better gas mileage than that range extender does. But the difference here being that the vast majority of my miles are driven as a fully electric vehicle. To give you a breakdown of the 90,000, give or take, miles I have put on my i3, only about 2,000 have been running gas. So if I kind of do the math, combining the short little bit that I only got 30 miles per gallon with the massive amounts that I drove it as a fully electric vehicle, I'm probably gotten about, between the equivalent and the regular gas range, probably about 114 miles per gallon. At the beginning of this video, I had discussed how part of the reason for remaking the video this is based on was because some of the data had changed. These changes show up in the PHEV area and in the EREV or range extender area. PHEVs range has gradually been increasing and significantly increased over the past 4 years. This is because of a couple of reasons. One, market demand. People are looking for longer and longer electric ranges on their PHEVs, and also because of technology. As battery technology improves, they are able to make longer and longer range PHEVs, just as they're able to make longer and longer range EVs. Now, the EREV area is where the real big change occurs, though, because the big thing that changes is one, the number of vehicles that will have it, and then two, the capability range. You see, the two big things about it. One was the original EREVs, like the BMW E3 and the Mazda MX-30 EREV, had very short electric ranges, right? Sub 150. And the reason for putting the range extender in them is because they just simply didn't have enough range to be competitive, and you could easily find yourself stranded. So you needed that extra benefit of the range extender. However, these days, the EREVs that are coming out right now and going to be coming out next couple of years have very significantly longer electric ranges. There's one that I'll be doing a video on in the near future. Their electric only range is 250 miles. And honestly, this is longer than some fully electric vehicles that are out there right now. The other reason for this is the change in the size of the engine, because like for example, my BMW i3, the gas generator on board is a 647cc scooter engine. It's a very small engine, and the newer EREVs coming out will have notably larger engines. For example, there's one vehicle, I believe it's the Dodge Ram pickup truck that they're coming out with. The range extender will be a V8 engine, which honestly, at that point, I don't understand why it's an EREV and not just a regular plug-in hybrid or just a regular hybrid if you're going to have an engine that large. But somewhere out there, the marketing people and engineers got together and came up with the idea that this is a good idea, and they know this better than me. So I guess it works, though I'm not entirely sure how. And with that, you now know about all the different electrified drivetrains available. If you found this video useful, entertaining, both, go ahead and hit that like button, and please comment down below and let me know what you thought of it. Start some conversations about this topic. If there's something I missed, please let me know down below. Also, if you have not subscribed already, I would greatly appreciate your subscription. Also, I'm going to put the link down below for my library. If you want to see other videos by me, they'll be down there below. We'll have a playlist for everything you want to see. Don't forget to stick around for the subscriber shout out. And here is a video YouTube thinks you're going to like.
And now it's time for the subscriber shout-outs. If you'd like your own shout-out, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and either make sure your name is visible or put in the comments down below that you subscribed.
Tom Carr, Fadel Al-Kasab, Gazinka. Thanks for subscribing.